name's McKenna. I'm a small business owner in the Pacific Northwest, and I own and run the small business Palm Creative. We've been vlogging for almost a year on here, and I haven't made a ton of additional small business content, but that's going to change in 2025, so I thought, why not get started and do a little 2024 wrap-up before we get into the new year and talk about the new goals. I wanted to reflect and look back on this year specifically because it was my best and my hardest year ever in business, and I wanted to talk about it and talk about the highs and lows of that. So let's get into this little wrap-up for 2024. If you're new here, everything in my shop is designed and made by me. I make stickers, mugs, apparel, lots of bookish items, and I just started making candles, so I decided to burn one while we're doing this video. And I just wanted to talk about basically everything that's kind of happened this year, because it's been a year for sure. There's been a lot of good, and there's been, there's been some bad, but for the most part, business-wise, this has been my best year in business, both financially and just like emotionally, though it has also been one of the hardest years I've ever had working-wise, because it is not easy to run your own business. It's not easy to be full-time in your business. Honestly, it's just not easy to run a business, and if you're doing that, kudos to you, because I know how hard it is. And I wanted to look at all the things that kind of went right, and as well as things that I hope to change for next year. So let's get into everything I want to talk about. So first I want to talk about the overall feeling of 2024. Sometimes people want to put that at the end, but I was like, let's talk about the vibe. So I went into this year with the intention of going full-time, and my situation is not going to be the same as yours if you're trying to decide on when to make that leap. I wasn't like crazy successful with my shop yet to feel like it probably should have went full-time, but I kind of knew that if I put in all the effort and the time and my savings that it would pay off. I just very much felt that the reason things weren't happening yet, because Palm Creative has been around for almost 5 years now, and there's a lot of reasons, and I'll do a video about kind of like my journey to this point. But I will say that I knew in my heart that like if I had the time and I was doing it full time, it would be worth it. And it was scary, and I'm not saying this is something you should do. It wasn't like an easy decision, and also was very scary to basically put so much trust in myself to make this happen. And thankfully, I feel like I did it. So in that respect, I feel really good about my decisions. It was terrifying at first when we moved up here last year to Seattle. I wasn't sure what it meant, and I didn't know what to do, and I really had a different vision of my shop even from last January to this point at the end of December. The vision has changed. I have been considering even rebranding, because the items that sell the best are all of my bookish things. I found my love again for reading, and with that I had a lot of fun designing book related products, and it became my favorite thing to make. I feel like that's the only ideas I ever have now, and it's not even related to specific books I'm reading. It's just in general, this would be such a cute idea. If you told me in the beginning of the year that I was gonna make Kindle inserts and my Kindle sleeves, book sleeves, and candles that are book themed, I would be like, you're wild. I could not imagine myself making a candle, and now it's honestly one of my favorite things to do in the shop. It was so much fun to explore that this year. Product wise, I would say overall, I can't believe how much I made. I can't believe the amount of designs that I designed that are just here now, I had a lot of different things over the years. My style's changed a lot. I feel like I've gotten a lot better, design wise and product wise, and I've learned a lot, over the last few years. But this year specifically, putting in the time and getting to focus 100% on the shop really was what helped my business, and also taking time to really put a lot of effort into social media. Also, the huge thing that I can't believe I'm even doing this with you guys is because I have been wanting to have a YouTube channel again for so long, and I wanted to make a small business channel, and I was very nervous because of how my job was before. It was impossible. I don't think I could do both at the same time, or if I did, it would be a very big challenge, and the job I had before was not 40 hours a week. So if you're doing a 40-hour week, it's still hard, but I was doing 60 to 80 hours a week. And that was then on the weekends I would try to do the shop, and I was exhausted. So I'm very happy to report that this big risky decision that I made paid off for myself, because I was very nervous in January, and I'm still nervous now. It's very scary to like be your sole income. Like, you can't rely on like me showing up to work and getting paid, but it is pretty spooky, I will say, to rely on it, but it's definitely been worth it. So overall, the vibe has been so good. I'm so happy with how this year has turned out. Not much I could say I could do differently. I feel like maybe some of the markets I just wouldn't have done, but you know, I couldn't know until I did it. So I feel like it was worth doing every single market because I learned something from it, and I think I will continue to learn things from markets even as they become more and more, not monotonous, but like you get a routine. Like this new setup that I have for my indoor markets is not a routine yet, so it does feel a little like but like all my other events, I know exactly what it's gonna look like. You know, it's down to almost a science with how we set up, and so it does feel very exciting to feel comfortable and not so nervous now for events. And this year I really wanted to focus on markets. I dubbed it the year of the markets, and that was like our little joke between me and Eli. I was like, this is the year of the markets, and we did that. So I think we should just segue into markets and talk about the positives and a few negatives, but for the most part, just like the overall, how did it go? Okay. So I'm pulling up my phone because I want to have my notes up for exactly the numbers for things. So this year, year of the markets, we did 31 total events, and we did 43 total market days. So pretty crazy. It doesn't sound like a lot. Like obviously it's like a month basically of events. I guess over a month if it's 43 days. But when you're doing like every weekend, that's usually what it was like we're doing every weekend, or like for the most part, all of our events were weekends, or a couple of them were, I don't even know, only a couple maybe were on weekdays, and they were very small, like pop-up type things. So yeah, crazy amount of markets. I don't even know, like this coming year, I'm trying to figure out how I want to do markets, because they've become our biggest income, I would say, is doing events. And we get more online sales from it, we get more people on our mailing list, and we get more followers from it, more than we do through social media. So it'll probably still be year of the markets in 2025 because it has been the best thing. So let's see. Oh, I can say, let's see what this one is. So our best seller for markets was No Shock, the band book, Blind Date with a Band Book mystery bundle. 100% our best seller. It did amazing. We had some sales online, but that was our best seller overall between online and in person, because we sold so many in person and people really loved the, like, I have to say, I'm gonna definitely do some market videos and like hopefully give you guys some advice, but from my experience at least, people really like an interactive thing at a market. Like being able to build their own cup has been a huge thing for my shop, and it's still been really unique, and so I'm really proud of that idea that I came up with, because I hadn't seen anyone really have the same type. I haven't seen it before I came up with it, as far as I could tell. I know people obviously do the cups with the lids and stuff, but having it be more interactive and you can kind of like pick out your lid and pick out the straw, and it's like a whole experience, that has been a huge thing. And the bundles have been a huge thing because people can pretty easily like make it custom. If they're making it a gift, they pick out a bookmark, they pick out 3 stickers, and they pick out a blind book. And so that is something I'm very proud of. At least so far I haven't seen anyone do the specific way I'm doing it, and I'm really proud of that. I know there's been a lot of people doing blind dates, but like specifically band books, that's something that's really important to me. The band book liver t-shirt is another bestseller at markets. I think it was our top bestseller behind that one. And then lavender twilight mugs were the one underneath. So just in case you guys were curious, those were our top sellers of all markets. But yeah, the banned book lover stuff is really near and dear to my heart. It's the #1 thing that brings people into my booth, and it's something that I'm really sad that I'm having to like spread awareness about, but also very proud of myself to try to spread this information out. And though it's through like a t-shirt, I don't know, the conversations I've got to have this year specifically have been some of the best conversations and like interactions I've had in a very long time. So it just felt so genuine to have those conversations and get the conversation going. So those were the top market like sales or products, I guess. And then sales wise for our markets, let's open up my I'm like, we recently had our best sales day, which I think was pretty crazy. Hold on, let me find the spreadsheet for this. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the vibes of markets. Like, I'm gonna pick my top 3 vibes, the good vibes, and then my top 3 that were my best-selling markets. So if you're somebody in the Washington area trying to find markets, maybe this is something you can look into. But also I will say one person's market is going to be different than another's. I've been told so many times about events where people are like, this was my best market ever, you're going to do amazing. And then it's like my worst market and you just kind of feel like, okay. So I'll talk about vibes first. So my favorite ones definitely was this recent one, Burzar with Terrain. Terrain events have been really fun. I did one in the summer as well. And I feel like the vibe in general was just good. Like, it was well put together, it was really fun, and I really liked everything about it. Customers were great, and just how they handled things was really, really great. So at first it was like we had some issues in the beginning, and then they handled it so well and were so helpful that it made it amazing. Amazing. So if you're in the Spokane area and want to try to get into one of those events, it is more market-based, like art facing, and so they really want to focus on people that make handmade things and it's your designs. So if you're somebody that maybe buys designs to resell, nothing wrong with that, but it's not that kind of vibe. So it wouldn't be that kind of market. It's more for people that make everything and, like, you know, all that stuff. Oh, we're not having that. We need the vibe. The vibe's back. Crafty Wonderland was another one that was one of my favorites. It was really fun. It's in Portland, and so if you're in a Portland area, same kind of thing. It is for people that design and make all of their products. And it's really fun, and the people that put it on are so organized, and it was just so easy to do, and it was very clear with everything, and it was just a blast. I am sad. I really wanted to do the winter one. I just got waitlisted, and that was like, it was a bummer. But the spring one I did do. I might try to do it this year again. It is out of my way, but it was really fun, and the other vendors were really amazing, and I met so many amazing Portland people there, and so that was another great vibe for me. And then what's my last one? There's so many events this year to look back on and think, was this my best event? Oh, it's really hard. Honestly, I think it's a tie between U District Street Market and, oh, it's a 3-way tie. Urban Craft Summer and Pig Out. I know, I said top 3, but I can't pick. I have top 6. Pig Out obviously was great because it was our best like selling event. It was our longest event, and it really pushed me to be better. It was not an easy event to do, and I will say it is not something I feel like a hobbyist crafter who's trying to get into the markets should do off the bat. It's expensive too for it's less expensive than most events for like that long, but it is like an investment to get into it. It's also like 5-6 days of just non-stop working and constantly restocking, and I was doing it from not living there, and it just felt draining, and you're there like 12 hours a day. So I will say, if you're just looking to get into markets, maybe not that one. That's like if you're established and you're doing it full time and you have the time to do it. I like shut my shop down because it was too much going on. I think maybe I just paused Etsy. I think I kept my website open because we've only closed the shop once this year, and it's right now. So I don't know. It was just a lot, but it was worth it, and it was fun. I met so many customers there. Oh, now I'm thinking of another market I love. Oh no. Okay, I'll keep it to the ones I already said. The other one was Urban Craft Summer. That one I actually was off of a wait list. I really like Urban Craft and I hope to get into more events this year. I'm really gonna try to like work harder, I guess, on my application to try to get in. I feel like maybe they don't know or aren't clear about like my business model. It just seems like when I talked to them in person they got it, but then it still was just like a thing. So I don't know. I do want to do more of their events because it was a great event and we did really well. And we met so many amazing Seattle customers and vendors. So I hope to get into that one again, but we'll see. The last one, I'm like, okay, which one was it? I'm already forgetting. Hold on. Oh no. U District Street Market. So really hope I can do that again this year. It was 100% worth it. It's a 2-day event and one day was pouring rain. Vibes immaculate. Good times. Had a great time. I don't know, the vibes were just good. Those were all great events for me. Usually the events for vibes also correlate with money, but still. If people are in like a good mood though and it's like a fun event, it kind of like makes it better when the event maybe is a flop. But if everyone's miserable and it's like a lot of other issues, then it's not so fun. Because there has been a couple markets that even though I did really well financially, the vibes and like the overall experience of dealing with it was just like exhausting. Okay, let's talk about just the top 3 best markets financially. So Bazaar was our best single day event ever. We made way more than, I would say, I don't like to give specific numbers, but I will say it was probably over $1,000 from our previous like record. So take that what you will. And that was a really amazing experience and was really great. So Bazaar was great. I'm trying to think what the next one was. I'm like looking through my list of stuff I did. Pig Out was our best event of the entire year. It was the most money I've ever made in like my entire life in 1 week. So it was a great experience. It was worth the money and the stress. I think next year specifically I would just prep earlier. I'm also going to apply way earlier because I didn't find out until a month before I was doing Pig Out that I was in. So I think if I get in and get everything in before, then I have enough time to prep and I know how that event went. And so I'm like, okay, with that knowledge of how busy and how much we sold, I would probably prep more and I would have different things in the booth. So good things to know. And then I think our next best event, was it? I think it was a tie between Pride. I think it might have been Pride. Yeah, Spokane Pride was our next event that was like our best sales day, and it was a single day. So that was pretty crazy. I think Pride and then it was Bazaar were the top single days. It's hard to kind of gauge too because obviously Pig Out was a 5-6 day event and compared to these other ones that are like 1 days. So yeah, but anyway, markets in general, I think they're worth trying out if you're wanting to. If you're somebody who's not really into it and knows they're not gonna have a good time, maybe don't. If you're somebody that's very introverted and doesn't want to interact with people and like wants to stay on the side of, like, I totally get it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I will say I think you need to be very outgoing at markets to get people to want to come in. I definitely notice a huge difference between people that don't interact with people or it's just kind of like hi and then like are very cold. Like I don't personally want to go into booths like that. It's hard to do. So that's my advice if you're somebody that's like thinking about it, that's kind of nervous. I only started doing markets in October of 2023. So it's been over a year and I definitely want to do like a little market how-to video because I definitely want to talk about at least my experience and hopefully things that could help you, because a lot of these things that I learned I never would have learned online because no one talks about it. So I think it'd be nice. Let me know if there's specific things you guys would want to know. Obviously I'm not an expert, but I have my experience to talk about, so you know, I feel like it's still worth worth something, and I think the more resources you have, the better. But I will say markets were, it was my best decision of this year. I don't think I would have done as well financially if I hadn't taken all those risks to do these events. And I think this coming year I'm going to make more market decisions. I think we're going to focus too on some different things, but we'll talk about that in a different video where I talk about my goals for next year. Okay, next we're going to talk about sales in general, and just like overall how we did. I'm not going to give specific numbers just because I'm not feeling like that's like my thing right now, and I don't want people to be like nitpicking it. I don't know. I'm a little nervous about it, but I will talk about sales numbers. So obviously my goal this year, if you've been on Instagram or just watching the vlogs, if you're new here, you don't know this, but my huge goal originally was 1,000 orders by the end of the year, because last year I only made 268 sales the entire year on Spotify. I did not look up my Etsy numbers because Etsy is very inconsistent for me. Like, I consider taking it down like every month, but it is something that still brings in sales, and so it's hard because I don't want to completely close it yet. And we do have like a small following on there. But yeah, I'm not counting Etsy sales when I talk about this. So Shopify sales, and my Shopify number total is a combination of online and markets, because we do all of our markets transactions through Shopify POS. So it all comes through the same place. And that's just what's been easiest for us. I might look and see if there's cheaper credit card rates or whatever eventually, but right now it's just been easy to keep track of everything in one place, and it counts all my numbers for me, so we love that. So last year, in 2023, yeah, we only had 268 sales orders. That's it. And that was including markets, and yeah, it was really grim to think about, really. I mean, at the time, it was still really big for me because that was actually our first year of having the website open. So, and I was still working full-time up until September at Lucasfilm. So I was working in TV still. And so really only from like August to December was I being able to focus more on the shop. We had a viral moment last year. No big viral moments this year, I will say that. I'll talk about socials soon, but yeah, it was kind of just strange. The viral stuff was all on TikTok Shop at the time too, so those numbers didn't count to Shopify. So knowing what the number that we made last year, when I show you guys, look at that. Yeah, we ended the year at 2132. So that's crazy. I don't know. When it hit 2,000, I like cried, which I think you guys saw in the vlogs if you have been watching the vlogs. But then I had this really amazing market where we had 129 sales, and it was the best ending of a really hard-working year. I did not take breaks this year at all. Even right now, I'm supposed to be taking a break, and I've been working on a number of things. And I am going slower, and I have taken more time to do things that I like, but it's not, I'm a workaholic. It's a problem. So don't be like me in that fact. But I will say all that hard work really paid off this year, and I think it was worth it to me. There's things that I definitely would like to prioritize next year and really focus on outside of just the shop, but the numbers show that was worth it. So next year, I don't even know, I will talk about the goal for that, but my goal in general was 1,000 sales. We hit that, I feel like it was August, maybe it was July, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it for this event, and then we hit it. So I think it was like either August or September when we were around 1,000, and then this last quarter was our best quarter. People were really shopping for holidays, and this was my first like successful holiday season to work through. It was really hard. I was very exhausted, and I definitely felt burnt out by the end, but I also was feeling so grateful that I could be experiencing this burnout, if that makes sense. Like, it's just so exciting that this is like my life right now, and I am still very happy about the shop and like my decisions in it. So anyway, yeah, sales wise we did so good. I can't believe this is like our total this year. It feels bananas to me. I don't even know. The last thing involving sales was I want to tell you guys how many items we sold, because I realized you can find this in Shopify and I was blown away. We sold item-wise 5,001 items in this pink little studio made by me. Isn't that crazy? Like, I thought about it and I was like, holy, like a lot of it is probably small. Like, I know straws for some reason were a big thing. Obviously I didn't make those, but in general I'm like, I made thousands of things this year that then people bought. 5,001. Anyway, I was like, wow, look at her go. But yeah, that was kind of the wrap up of sales. It was very exciting, and I can't believe I hit 2,000. I was really just kind of throwing numbers out there like, what if that happens? And I didn't honestly think it would. So I feel very grateful, and I definitely think, you know, putting myself out there on social media was a big reason why we got to that point. So next, let's talk about social media and the goals I had and where we're standing right now. So my biggest goal for 2024 with social media was to, one, do it more, also do it more effectively, and start a YouTube channel. So that was like my biggest goal. And early February, I started technically in January, but it was posted early February, was my first video. And so I'm very excited to like experience this like year of videos coming up so soon. Yeah, I've done, I don't want to tell you channels because they're embarrassing and I don't know how to delete them off of YouTube, but there are channels out there of me, and I've been on many YouTube channel. For a while I even was on a collab channel where a ton of us around the world were like posting vlogs and videos to this channel, which it died quickly, but it was very exciting. And it was from people I met at VidCon, which I did go to in 2015. So YouTube's been a big part of my life for a very long time. I just never have had success with consistency as well as with growth. And this was the first time I saw immediate growth and immediate like success, and I was very excited that so many of you wanted to listen to me ramble like right now and see how I run my business. I'm not a perfect person. I will say there's definitely times where, you know, the times were rough, but I also wanted to make a channel that felt more genuine, and it's not always like perfectly aesthetic. I still strive to do, I want to be a little more aesthetic with my vlogs going forward. However, it's still gonna have the reality of it, because I feel like so many, and I get why this is, like, I'm not saying this is wrong, but I do feel like it's necessary, because when I first started watching a lot of small business content way back, like I've been watching Catnip, I think, honestly, since she was in her tiny room, one room, and she had just expanded to another room back, I don't even know how long ago that was, a long time ago. And I love Catnip videos, but I definitely for a while watched them and was just like, man, like, how does everyone do it so perfectly? And it got me kind of anxious about taking those steps. And then when I finally did take those steps, I ended up doing it anyway with my photography business, and I kind of just took that leap, and you know, it was a really good experience, and I do miss that a lot. I know I've had people ask me if I was gonna bring back my photography, specifically like bring clients back on and do small business counts, like content and stuff with people. I would love to do that. However, I really have to upgrade my camera and also dedicate time to be doing that. So it may be in the future, but at this moment, until I can get a better camera for that, then it's probably gonna be a bit. But the current camera I used to use, though great, it's on its way down. It's not been great. So with starting a business, basically what I was trying to say is that I noticed a big inconsistency with how I was feeling when I actually did start Palm Creative, and how hard it was to balance life and a business and also like making mistakes. And I feel like for the most part I show you guys all my mistakes. There's been times where like it's been too embarrassing to show you, where it's so rare though, or it's just like I'm having one of those days where I'm just like protecting my peace a little bit, or like I can't talk about it. But for the most part you guys have seen all of it. It's pretty much always there. It's very rare for me to want to not talk about a mistake I've made, but sometimes, you know, I'm a person and I don't sometimes I don't want to be embarrassed, because sometimes these things are embarrassing. And I kind of wanted to be more honest with how hard it is, but also how fun it can be and how worth it is. Like, it's so worth it to me doing what I'm doing, but I definitely can see how it's not for everybody. You know, I've seen so many of my friends who have amazing talent and small businesses who have realized that it's just not for them, and like the constant like stress of finances and trying to keep customers and making new products to get people to buy things and social media is just not what they want to do. And I totally respect that. It is not for everybody. I think for me, the real stress of it with the finances and stuff, I'm kind of just used to that vibe because of what my old job was. I was a freelancer, so really there was times where I'd be working, you know, like I was working for 3 years in a row, and then I was let go because there was a strike. So, you know, it's just the kind of like inconsistency is like been my entire career. And so I don't know, it's scary, but it's also been times of like, I don't know how to explain this. It's been worth it for me personally, but I totally get why some people are just like, this is not my thing. As much as like their talent and stuff is amazing, I totally get it. It's a lot. It's a lot. So yeah, YouTube, that was like a very big thing to do, and I love it, and I'll be continuing to do it. I do have some things I do want to change moving forward. Nothing like crazy as of right now. There's some things I'm like, I kind of want to film things a little differently, or I want to try something different with my upload schedule and maybe have additional content like this that's just, you know, this. But yeah, I don't know. It's just been something I've been thinking about, and I now have time to think about it and hopefully add it into my schedule more. So yeah, but YouTube's been great. I'll check, where are we at in subscribers? We'll do a little refresh right here. So yeah, started out with 0 subscribers in February. We're now at 2,620. So I mean, I'm not complaining. That's great. That's great for me. It's something I'm very proud of. I feel like it definitely was like the first, like, it was very odd. The first couple months, it was where the biggest amount of growth was. I don't know if it was just with how the algorithm was hitting on YouTube. That was where I got my main subscribers from. And then as we've gone on, it's been a little bit slower. But I do think as I start adding new content and like maybe change up a little bit how I do things every once in a while, it might bring in some new people. But I'm really proud of where I came. Like, this is insane to me that I've been able to keep editing a consistent schedule, keep filming every day. Like, pretty much every day I'm filming for the vlog, and that's insane. So I'm very excited and proud of myself for YouTube. That's pretty much it. I'm just very happy that I did it, and it was really scary. So if you're somebody that's been considering doing it, I say go for it. Try it out, see if you like it. I think a lot of times we all get scared about putting ourselves out there. Like my first video, I was so terrified. I just had done YouTube stuff for so long and like had posted on so many channels and tried so many times, and it felt really scary to do it again and to be putting myself out there in general. I was nervous like people would be judging how I do my business, and that has happened, but it's been, for the most part, pretty, like, you guys are amazing. You're so supportive, and you've really gotten me through like the hardest times this year. I think it would have been a lot harder if I hadn't had you guys, if I'm being honest. Like, it just means so much to me that so many of you care so much. So thank you guys for this little community we have here, because it feels pretty great. The other social media stuff we can talk about, TikTok did not change literally at all. It's been stagnant since like last year. I think honestly too, I haven't really been prioritizing content on there. I haven't been making content specifically for TikTok in a long time, mostly because of the constant talk of banning it. I just don't want to put a ton of energy into this app and then it's like gone forever. And that's how it felt. I also had a lot of issues with TikTok Shop last year, and I just had a sour taste in my mouth about it. Do I watch a lot of TikTok videos? Yes. So much content, always. But I was like, you know, maybe making it, we'll just like post our reels, basically. So basically the content I was putting on there all year was the same things I was posting on reels, but reels did better. Instagram, however, we've had a very, very, very different experience. So my goal for the year, which was very bold of me, was to hit 5,000 followers. We are not there yet, but we are so close. So let me pull up my, because I posted a reel a little bit ago, so let's see. So my goal is to get to 5,000. I don't think that's gonna happen. We're at 4706 right now. However, I put so much energy and thought into my Instagram, and it worked. So I don't know, maybe I'll talk about my like experience with growing the account, and I'll keep trying different things to like see, you know, be like, this is the way to grow. Obviously it'll change every whatever second that they change the algorithm. My hair looks a little flat there. There we go. But I started the year off at like 460 followers or something, and that was like a stagnant number for a long time on my Instagram. Wasn't having growth, really wasn't having interaction. It was just not great. But I decided to really put effort into Instagram because of, you know, TikTok being a nightmare lately. And I was just like, we'll try it out, we'll see, I'll try reels. And that's where we grew. We grew from that to 4706. Like, that's crazy. And I posted on reels a ton. We posted stories, and like now my stories would used to get like 5 views or something. And now we have hundreds of people like interacting with my stories, and that's crazy. Like, sometimes it's a little intimidating, and I'd have to like take a minute and be like, whoa, like that's crazy to me to feel like there's that much of so much growth. I definitely will keep prioritizing Instagram because of that. It's been a huge thing for my business, and I'm a big fan. A big fan of Instagram. I always have been. Obviously, coming from a photo background, like, it's been my favorite app, and I've been on there since 2011. It's been a long time. Back when it was like everyone had the same filter. Yeah, it was me. I had one of those accounts somewhere on Instagram. But anyway, that's how we did on socials. So I hit that goal. My other goal was to, I think, get to 1,000 subscribers. We did that. And my TikTok goal was 10,000, but like I haven't posted on there. Honestly, I might start posting just for fun. Eli started posting on his account and literally has grown his account from like nothing to 1,000 already. So, and that's been in like 2 weeks. Don't know how he's doing it. Success, just success. But yeah, that's my social media wrap. Feeling good about that, feeling good. So I just quickly wanted to talk about some of the favorite products that I designed this year. I realized I created like hundreds of new designs. Like, most of my shop right now is all from this year, which feels pretty insane that I made so many things. But I want to show you kind of my favorite ones, and honestly they kind of all go together now that I'm looking at it. So candles this year was like a huge thing. I was honestly only doing it for my gift boxes, but now I think they're going to be a little staple in the shop. But the Cozy Girl reading time, honestly all of them, oh, it smells so good. It smells so good. But I'm burning just one more chapter right now, and I love her. But anyway, candles were a huge thing for me, and it's been so fun to make them, and I'm really proud of how they've come out. I think I'm gonna keep the design. Let me know what you guys think. I have been thinking maybe changing the vessel though, to not just be clear. But anyway, candles were a big thing for me. Another big thing was Kindle and book sleeves. Like, this was a huge deal when I got these ordered. I felt so official, and being able to say I like hand sewed, used a machine, but I sewed all of these guys. I'm so proud of them. We'll see if they're gonna make it into the new year, but we love them, and I'm proud of how they came out. Next is the best-selling mug, Lavender Twilight. This is the one I use for my iced coffees. I now have a couple favorite mugs, but this one just, I don't know. I love her so much, and people really love this one. And I love her too. And my favorite thing this year was Hotties Cry Over Fictional Characters, the bookmark and the sticker. Hold on, let's see if this will, hello, stop looking at my face. There we go. She's so cute. Oh wait, now I just had, hold on, there's one more that needs to be mentioned immediately. And of course, if it's not fairy smut, I don't want it. This has been, hold on. This sticker and then like bookmark and sticker of Hotties has been another bestseller. I'm pretty sure they came up as my best-selling stickers and I was like, yeah, no duh, like, of course. I love them so much. I kind of think I should put one up here. I need to like decorate my desk area. We just redid the room and I need to decorate. So many things to put up. So yeah, those are my favorite products. Obviously also like all of my apparel. Oh, I have one more. Hold on, I'm the worst. My other favorite, this is actually like my favorite thing I made this year, was Book Lover World Tour. Still has stickers on it from markets. Look at it. Like, I love her so much. I'm so proud of this design. I love her so much. I think I'm gonna try to do a different color this year just to like spice it up, but we'll see. I'm gonna do many a poll on Instagram, so if you don't follow me over there, go do that. So overall, this year has been pretty much hitting all of my goals. Like, I had so many new products that I designed. My goal was to try to make something new every month, and though I didn't do that all the time, it still was like quite often. Like, I feel like at least if it wasn't in a month, it was like I had a couple in the next month. And so I think next year we're gonna do it a little differently, but I do think it was worth it with how much I was doing, because it really changed my business. It's changed so much between January and today. My book items, like, it was a huge, I had a couple like bookish things last year, I guess. Well, I guess BAM Book Lover's been around, so I guess last year is when I kind of started my book era. It was last summer, I think, but it's increased so much. We had a huge like launch last fall, I think, too, of book things, and then I've kind of just kept adding. We did a small business launch this year, which did pretty well. It was actually like my second best launch, I think, but it was just something that I'm not sure I'd keep in the shop. I don't know. It's hard to say what's gonna do well, and I'm always kind of learning what people want. I did a whole bunch of polls the other day to just see what people are thinking, because some things that I think are gonna do well end up not doing well, and that's just, you know, we're learning, we're trying, and then sometimes those things end up doing well later. So I don't know what the answer to that one is, but I will say it's been the biggest year of growth. It's been one of the hardest years of working. I feel like I definitely worked too much, but it also was so worth it, because look where we ended. So I don't know. There definitely was sacrifices. There's definitely been times where I was like, was this a good idea? But in general, I'm happy with all my decisions that I made this year. Definitely there was like some things I would have changed in the beginning of the year, and how I would have done launches and, you know, handled my money maybe a little differently, but it's like you don't know until you're already looking back and you're like, I could have done this differently, and you just don't know. So I don't know. I'm excited for next year. I think it's gonna be our best one yet, and I'm excited to make all of my, well, I've already made all my goals and plans, but I am gonna make a video talking about all the goals and plans I have for next year, and kind of what it's gonna look like around here on the channel. So I hope you guys will be back for that. Let me know if you guys have any questions, but I think this is where we end 2024. This is the last video of the year. It's the last day of the year, so I just want to thank you guys so much for this beautiful year. It's been amazing because of all of you that's been, I'm gonna get weepy, that's been so supportive, and this community we're growing. I definitely want to prioritize that more next year and focus on helping be a resource for my fellow small businesses, because let me tell you, it is rough out there and some people really don't want to help, and I get that. I get it. But I do want to be helpful. So I'm going to try to be as helpful as I can by also, like, you know, having my boundaries. But for the most part, I'm kind of an open book. I feel like I tell you guys pretty much everything that I do. But anyway, yeah. I can't wait for next year. It's going to be great. And I can't believe we've made it through a full year of me being full-time with the shop. I can't believe it. Like, literally, if you told January McKenna where she is now, she'd be like, excuse me? No. You know? It's pretty crazy what you can do in a year. So if you're feeling like you're wanting to start your journey, you never know where you can be in a year. And if you put the time and energy and love into it, I think that's really the best advice, is like, make sure you love what you're doing and make sure you have the intention to put that time in, because that's where you really get places. But I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for this beautiful year. And I'll see you all in 2025. Bye, friends.